remembers emperors. It remembers battles, thrones, and bloodlines. But sometimes what's remembered is not what matters. Sometimes the truth is hidden in margins, buried in basements, or worse, intentionally erased. This is the story of Mirza Qadir, the royal archivist of Agra in the final years of the great Mughal emperor Aurangzeb. A quiet man, unmarried, unambitious. His life's work was simple: to record the truth and lock it away. But the truth, it turns out, was never meant to be kept. Agra, 1705. The empire was fracturing. Aurangzeb was old, bitter, devout, and paranoid. His sons were circling, his enemies many. The court was full of whispers. In the fort's underground archive, Mirza Qadir worked alone. He had no rank, no guard, no enemies, only keys. Dozens of them. Each one to a different room, shelf, or chamber, where scrolls were kept. Some dated back to Akbar's time. Others were too dangerous to name. He followed one rule: write what is true, hide what is cursed. But one scroll didn't want to stay hidden. It arrived one morning in a black silk pouch, unlabeled, unsealed, carried by a man with no badge, no name. His face was wrapped even in summer heat. He handed the scroll to Mirza and said only one word: return. Then he left. The scroll was old, older than anything in the archive, written in a script Mirza didn't recognize. Not Persian, not Sanskrit, something older, sharper. But on the back, a seal he did recognize: the personal mark of Prince Dara Shikoh, Aurangzeb's brother, executed by his order. A mystic, a scholar, a seeker of forbidden texts. Mirza knew what he held was dangerous. He should have burned it, but he didn't. He opened it. That night the fort changed. He heard footsteps when no one walked. Candles snuffed themselves out. Scrolls he'd sealed shut were found unrolled. And in the morning, one shelf was empty. The scroll was gone. Only the pouch remained. And inside a single slip of paper, with one word written in Dara Shikoh's hand: buried. Mirza was shaken. He checked the storage log. The scroll had never been recorded. He questioned the guards. No one had seen the messenger. No one had seen the scroll. As far as the empire was concerned, it never existed. 3 nights later, a soldier came to the archives. He was trembling, eyes wide, kept repeating the same thing: there's something in the walls. They found him dead the next morning. No wounds, no marks, but his eyes had turned completely black. The royal Hakim declared it divine punishment. A warning. Mirza wasn't so sure. He went back to the archives and started digging. Behind a false wall in the lowest chamber, he found it. A stone box, sealed with wax and iron. Inside, bones, small, human, wrapped in cloth that bore the same seal: Dara Shikoh. And beside it, a second scroll. This one was addressed to Mirza, in his own name, in his own handwriting, but he had never written it. The scroll read like prophecy. It described his actions over the last week, word for word, and it ended with this line: once the box is opened, the curse must finish its loop. Archivist becomes archive. Recorder becomes the story. Mirza locked the chamber. He tried to flee the city, but the roads turned in circles. The sky never lightened. He was trapped. No matter where he walked, he ended up back in the archive. Sometimes through doors that had no hinges, sometimes through dreams. The guards stopped seeing him, stopped hearing him, and slowly, page by page, scroll by scroll, his name vanished from the ledgers. A month later, the emperor died. The court descended into chaos. And the archive, it was sealed, not because of war, but because the scribes heard voices below, whispers in ink and parchment, shelves shifting when no one touched them. A new archivist was appointed, but he vanished within a week. Eventually, the fort's lower chambers were declared cursed, sealed with chains, abandoned. Only one record survived. A final note on a royal ledger, unsigned in faint handwriting: truth cannot be hidden, only buried, but buried things still remember. 300 years later, in 1981, during renovations at Agra Fort, workers unearthed a collapsed passage behind the archive wing. Inside, they found a sealed room. No bones, no body, just a scroll. Black ink. Fresh, though the room had been sealed for centuries. It said, "You have opened the box. Welcome back."